All right, let's dive in. Picture this. You're on a packed dance floor in Buenos Aires, in the middle of a milonga. The music plays in sets, called tandas, and with every single set, a new orchestra's sound just fills the room, and boom, the whole feel of the dance changes. Today, we are talking about the musical giants who define that exact experience.
You know that feeling, right? 1 second, the whole floor is just buzzing with these quick, playful steps. And then the next song comes on and it completely transforms into this slow, elegant promenade of long, gliding walks. Well, that is not random at all. It's a direct response to the personality of the orchestra that's playing. And understanding these personalities, that's the real key to unlocking tango musicality. So back in tango's golden age, we're talking roughly 1935 to 1955, four orchestras became these undeniable titans of the dance floor. And they didn't just play music, okay? They created entire worlds for dancers to live in. We call them the Big Four, and each one has a nickname that just perfectly captures their sound and their feeling. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down what makes each of these maestros unique, what you should be listening for in their music, and this is the most important part, how you can translate every single note you hear directly into your dance. Let's get started. Think of it this way. Learning to dance to the Big Four isn't really about learning more steps. It's more like learning 4 different languages of movement. Seriously. Each orchestra has its own grammar, its own vocabulary, and its own unique emotional tone that asks for a totally different response from you, the dancer. You know, before 1935, tango was kind of becoming music more for just sitting and listening to, not really for dancing. But then Juan D'Arienzo shows up, and he took these old tangos and just injected them with this clear, powerful beat that brought dancers flooding back to the milongas. He basically lit the fuse for the golden age and created this incredible playground for the other masters to come in and develop their own unique styles. Okay, so to really understand these orchestras, you only need to listen for 2 things. That's it. It's a super simple but really powerful contrast. You've got the sharp, driving rhythm on one side and the smooth, flowing melody on the other. Pretty much every difference between these guys comes down to which one of those 2 things they decided to emphasize. And you can see on this side just how directly that sound connects to your movement. On one side, you have staccato. It's sharp, it's percussive, almost like a drum beat. On the other side, you have legato, which is smooth, connected, more like a singing voice. Trust me, your feet will absolutely feel the difference. Staccato is the heartbeat. It really is. It's that part of the music that feels urgent, playful, and it just makes you want to step on every single beat. It's clean, it's precise, and it leaves absolutely no doubt about where that pulse is. When you hear a staccato rhythm, you feel it in your feet, and it's basically demanding a quick, sharp response. So if staccato is the heartbeat, then legato is the soul. This is the melody you find yourself humming along to, those long, beautiful phrases that seem to stretch time itself. And legato invites a whole different kind of movement, not sharp steps, but a continuous flowing walk where one step just melts right into the next. Let's start with the undisputed master of staccato. We're talking about Juan D'Arienzo, El Rey del Compás, the king of the beat. His music is just pure, unfiltered tango energy, and it demands one thing from you above everything else. You have to dance to the rhythm. Yeah, there's really nothing subtle about a D'Arienzo track, and this quote just nails it perfectly. His music grabs you from the very first note with this relentless beat. It wasn't designed for sitting and thinking, it was designed for pure action on the dance floor. So how do you actually dance to this? Well, when you hear that driving staccato beat, your steps have to reflect it. We're talking small, playful, rhythmic steps. You'll often see dancers use a more compact, close embrace, the milonguero style, because it's just perfect for sending that sharp, tight lead. So forget about long, sweeping movements. With D'Arienzo, it is all about the beat. All right, now let's do a complete 180. We're going to travel to the absolute opposite end of the tango universe. Let's talk about Carlos de Sarli, El Señor del Tango, the Lord of Tango. If D'Arienzo is that energetic pulse, de Sarli, he is the elegant, sophisticated soul. Elegance and space. Those are the 2 words that just define de Sarli. His music is never in a hurry. It creates room for walking, room for pausing, room for just breathing. It's the soundtrack for the most elegant promenade you can imagine, where every single step is deliberate and graceful.
So the difference in your dance is just profound. With Di Sarli, your focus completely shifts from that sharp beat to the beautiful flowing melody. The dance becomes all about long, gliding walks. Instead of hitting every beat, you use the space in the music for these elegant pauses, or paradas. And here's a beautiful detail. Try to slowly unroll your foot as you transfer weight. It creates this smooth, almost cat-like quality to your walk.
Okay, so we've got our two poles, right? D'Arienzo's rhythm on one side, Di Sarli's melody on the other. Now we get to meet the masters who played in the space between, the ones who blended and contrasted these elements. Aníbal Troilo and Osvaldo Pugliese are definitely more complex, and they require you to be a much more active listener.
So Aníbal Troilo, who was this legendary bandoneonian player, he was a master of surprise. His music is famous for its playfulness and for these sudden, sharp contrasts. He can switch from a hard staccato phrase to a soft lyrical melody in the blink of an eye. And you, as the dancer, have to be ready to switch right along with him.
I want you to just imagine this. The music starts, it's punchy, it's rhythmic, so your steps are small and sharp. Then, all of a sudden, Troilo's bandoneon comes in with this gorgeous, flowing melody. Your entire dynamic has to change instantly. You've got to elongate your steps, smooth everything out. But just when you get comfortable in that flow, bam! He'll shift right back to that staccato beat without any warning. Dancing to Troilo isn't about following a pattern. It's a constant and, honestly, a delightful conversation.
And then, there is Osvaldo Pugliese. If D'Arienzo is for dancing, and Di Sarli is for walking, Pugliese is for feeling. His music is powerful, it's emotionally intense, and it is deeply dramatic. A lot of times it feels more like a theatrical score than social dance music, you know? It's just full of tension and this powerful release. Pugliese's signature sound comes from a technique called arrastre, which means the drag, and it's the exact opposite of a sharp beat. The note starts out quietly, almost deceptively, and then it swells and accelerates into this powerful crescendo, creating that famous yamba sound. When the entire orchestra does it together, the effect is just immense, filling the room with this incredible dramatic tension. This is not music that asks for small steps. It asks for a grounded, powerful walk, a feeling of sweeping across the floor with weight and with intention. Okay, so those are the big four. We've got rhythm, melody, contrast, and drama. Now, let's try to distill all of this into a simple toolkit that you can take with you to your next milonga. A toolkit that will totally transform how you hear and therefore how you dance to the music.
The next time a tanda begins, just ask yourself these questions. Is the beat sharp, like D'Arienzo, or is it smooth, like Di Sarli? Is the music pushing you forward, or is it giving you space to pause? Which instrument is really telling the story here? Is the energy consistent, or is it full of these dramatic shifts like you'd hear in Troilo and Pugliese? Answering these questions will tell you everything you need to know.
And you know, that's the real secret. The most musical dancers you see out there aren't the ones with the flashiest steps. They're the ones who are having the deepest conversation with the orchestra. They truly embody the music because they are actually listening to its character, its emotion, and its intent. Because now you have a choice. You can hear the difference. The next time that music starts, it won't just be a tango. It will be D'Arienzo, or Di Sarli, Troilo, or Pugliese. And you'll know what the music is asking of you. So the only question left is, are you going to drive with the rhythm, or are you going to float on the melody?